Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Sacred and Profane podcast. It is your favorite embodied goddess, Neftara Grace, and I am here with you on this most auspicious occasion. This is, in my estimation, the day to offer gratitude to our ancestors. Here in the United States, it is called Thanksgiving, and elsewhere in the world, it may be called something else. Here in North America, we call this the season of gratitude for good reason. In particular, as a Black Indigenous woman of color, the gratitude that I experience is first and foremost to my ancestors, whose bones lay in the earth beneath me. Wherever you are and whoever you are, I'm going to ask that you join me in a moment of silence. And during this time, I just ask that you bring your awareness to anything and everything that you are truly grateful for. Even if it's your ability to love yourself, that's a big deal. So please join me for a moment of silence. I'm going to bring it back here. And if you joined me for that moment of silence, thank you. And if you did not, thank you. Thank you for honoring yourself wherever you are and whatever you are experiencing. As usual, we're going to start off with some runes. And yeah, we've got the rune for luck or divination, primal law, Peorth. Yeah, it's like a dice cup. Yeah, we've got Isa. Isa keeps coming out. This cosmic coherence, and then we've got the rune for potential and possibilities. I really, really love this. Um, mm, it's beautiful, beautiful. So, this is a special episode of the Sacred and Profane podcast. And like every episode of the Sacred and Profane podcast, special or not, this is a conversation for adults over the age of 18. You will be triggered if you are over the age of 18. If you are under the age of 18, I'm simply not responsible for how this conversation impacts you. I really am not. And so I ask that you tune out and check back in when you are ready. That is over the age of 18, okay? So we're going to have a conversation about something that very few people know anything about, and that's the truth. I'm laughing, but we're actually going to talk about the truth. And of course, um, in honor of this special occasion, I've got an angel card, and the angel card that came out was balance. If you are familiar with tarot, this would be the temperance card, but this is number 14, the need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise, wait for perfect timing. So whoever needed to hear that, that is where we are. Oh, look, and right underneath that is the dreamer upside down or reverse. That'd be the full reverse. Yeah, if somebody's thinking about making a sudden change or sudden move, doing something, an impulse, don't do it. Just literally right off top, don't do it. Don't do it. And whatever this is has to do with being heartbroken, right? Right. So don't do it. Whether it's a relationship that isn't going the way you want it to. Look, many of us, if you consider yourself chosen, a part of the 144,000, high vibrational, ascendant, however you relate to yourself, you are likely not spending this holiday with your family of origin. And you may or may not have gotten comfortable or settled in that, and you may be experiencing something around that. I don't know, what have you, okay? But I just want to put that out there. Um, this is a time to wait for divine timing. Um, there's an opportunity, really, for you to really for you to look at things from a different perspective, to let go. Okay, and that's the truth. Whatever it is you're dealing with, be willing to wait for your perfect timing, divine timing. Be willing to look at it from a different perspective. Be willing to let go and release. Okay. And look, we are talking about the truth. And I meant what I said. Many people have heard of the truth. They know how to spell the word, but they have no clue what truth is. Okay. They don't. They don't. People don't know the difference between something being true and something being accurate. I'll say that again. Most people do not know the difference between something being true and something being accurate. Now, you locate yourself in that statement however you want to. By the way, I've got a cup of tea here, so if you haven't already, go ahead and grab your cozy cup of whatever you're having and let's jump in. So so many times I come to these episodes like, I don't know, I don't know, right? And believe it or not, I have a whole, what do they call that? I don't know. Anyway, I have this whole um, list of topics, that Spirit wants to talk about. And every now and then we talk about something that Spirit has told me ahead of time. Yeah, we're going to talk about this. But sometimes it's like this episode where there's so much going on, and and I don't, these conversations are timeless. Really, the sacred and profane is me talking with the divine, and you guys are listening in. Like y'all are just jumping in wherever you jump in. So even though the episodes are numbered, they're not going in any particular order. You just push play when you feel like, hey, I'm going to listen to that one, right? So I really feel like this episode was one of those. There's so much going on, and so I'm telling y'all, I've got the runes, I've got the angel cards. We already got a message from that, and now I'm being reminded. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's crystal medicine that wants to come out today. So again, I have no clue who this conversation is going to reach. I don't know who you are. I don't know what's there for you, but I know it has to do with you loving yourself. That much I do know. Okay. So if you're into crystals, this is rhodochrosite energy. All right. And if you're not into crystals, it's okay. You don't have to be. Just take a second and check in with your self love. Okay. I came across something recently this year that really, really moved me. And that was the reframing. Talk about a context shift. The reframing of codependence as a self love deficit disorder. Yeah. So some of you really, how I'm hearing it is there's an opportunity to love yourself by honoring your intuition. That's realist, folks. That's real, real. I think a lot of us are way more intuitive than we give ourselves credit for, and we're just not honoring it. Yeah. And then there's an opportunity to embrace, to actually ground. So if you're familiar with lodestone or magnetite, um, that crystal's purpose is to actually help you ground into the earth. Oh my goodness, we're going everywhere. Spirit is just like all over the place. I'm here for it. Hey, you guys, did you know that this is gonna sound like a tangent, but it's not. Yeah, Light. We've got somebody out here trying to numb the pain. Don't do it, because the very next thought that they gave back to me, and I was dealing with this the other day, was this experience of dying. I've died a few times, so this is firsthand experience. When you die, you lose feeling in your body. Your body goes numb from the feet up. Scientists don't know why that is. Your feet go numb, and then you lose feeling all the way up until your heart stops, right? And then the last to go is your brain shuts down, and then boom, you flatline. And um, I'm not the only person who's died and come back a few times, right? So I think anybody who's died and can reach back into those memories and go, oh, yeah, 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 that's right. I remember my feet went up. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Um, what I've come to understand, right, that earth embrace is, we've got our earth star chakra with that cord, that tether that grounds our spirit into our bodies to this planet, right? Because if we didn't, we would, every night we go to sleep to dream, we just wouldn't come back. Duh. But when we die, the earth releases us. The earth releases that cord. that etheric cord that actually binds us to this realm is released, and our spirit is allowed to leave our body and not return. That is what death is. Okay. So I'm really clear, very strong. Somebody listening to this is the perfect time for you to hear this because, yeah, it's the angels. I've got everybody here, but it's the angels who are saying, don't do what you're thinking about doing. It'll likely cost you your life. Look, I don't get messages like that. I'm not that kind of a channel. I haven't been before. Um, but I do know that this is a divine intervention for you. I do know that whatever you've experienced, the core of it is self love. And I don't know that I can say more than that because I wasn't anticipating saying that. This is one of those situations where I was given the opening line to start the conversation with, and I just flowed from there. And so, I came in thinking we're going to talk about the truth, and apparently, the truth is someone needs to hear this, so they choose life instead of death. Mm. Life is something sacred. And I will tell you this um, the majority of humans are not living, they're existing. You know this when they go to work. And listen, if this is you, no offense, no shade. I'm just saying what you already know at a soul level, and that is existing is not the same as living. Getting up and going to work and dealing with your coworkers and paying your bills and coming home and and saving up money for that is not living. There's no soul satisfaction. The word I'm saying, there's no exaltation. Your soul is not exalted in that. Okay. Now, over the years, over many, many, many years, I should say, over several decades, I've come to understand that the true essence of life, there's that word again, the true essence of life, what it is to truly live, has been intentionally, there's a word we're going to talk about more, intentionally, I was going to say taken, they're saying stolen. Let's go with the word stolen from us. I think it's really good to use the word stolen because now there's a sense of justice that can be introduced as well. But let's go back to intention. There's this really critical, they're just flashing words. It's this really intentionality plays a critical role in living life truly. Aha, beautiful. I got it. So we talk about life and existence. And I think in the last episode, we really talked about what's real versus what's not real. And you guys, that has been like, it's everywhere. If you are tapped in, if you are literally like, you can get outside of matrix thinking, you've probably been bombarded with what's real and what's not real, right? In your dreams, in your everyday life, you've probably been bombarded with choices, with awareness, with insights, with downloads, asking you, compelling you to really take on the real versus not real. So what's been stolen from us when it comes to living life, a real life, instead of a life based on illusion, intentionality. See, when you get up and you go to work and you iron your clothes, you guys, I hate ironing clothes, but you go, you take them to a dry cleaner if you like me, whatever, and you go to work and all that kind of stuff. There's no intentionality in it. There's no intentionality in it. I used to live in New York, and so okay, get this. I lived in a house in upstate New York, outside of Albany. If you know, Glenville, New York is a little town outside of Schenectady, which is a bigger city. And Schenectady is Thomas Edison territory, but I digress. Anyway, every week I would take the commuter train down to Manhattan because my job was in Manhattan. Okay. And y'all know I'm a Georgia girl, man. I've said it before, I'm from the South, but I was living and working in New York for a few years and I enjoyed it. Believe it or not, I wouldn't do it again. You know what they say, it's a great place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there again. But anyway, I remember, so where I worked in Manhattan was literally across the street from Penn Station. Okay. So I get off my train and the Starbucks was like right there next to, you guys know what I'm talking about. If you, it's been some years, but anyway, so I get off the train, I walk, blah, 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 blah. There's Starbucks. I get my, I get my 3 shots on ice. I walk up the stairs into the plaza of Penn Station and then out the doors and across the street, and there's my building. So it's pretty sweet setup. I didn't have to walk blocks or anything like that, right? But the plaza of Penn Station, and if you know New York, Grand Central's the same way. When you're in that main atrium, God, there's just thousands and thousands of people. There's thousands and thousands of people going in every direction possible, imaginable at the same time. And one day, I had just come up the stairs, my Starbucks in my hand and my work bag in the other, and I just paused for a moment. You know, you can't stand still long because you get ran over and pushed around and stuff. So I kind of tucked myself up against the wall, between the stile and the shoe shine thing and the newspaper stand, and I just looked for a moment. I just looked. I just looked at all those people, every ethnicity and nationality and creed and color and size and all of it. And I thought, none of them know where the hell they're going. And that was a wild thought to have is, God, and they're all headed in a direction, but it was almost like I could see, it's like they were ants. Do you guys understand? You know how ants travel based on hormonal smells? They smell where they're going, really? Yeah, they smell it. That's how New Yorkers occurred for me. It's like they had, as I could see the energies, the energy lines where the same people at the same time every day did the same thing. Every day they took the same train to the same stop, got off on the right, got off on the same platform. That's where I was looking for, a platform, the same platform, and they walked up the same stairs, and they walked past the same guy with the newspapers and the magazines, and they walked past the same smoothie spot, and they walked up more stairs, and whether they realize it or not, they're walking past the same people every day because there's just at any given time tens of thousands of people doing the same thing in Penn Station. Okay, so you've got literal strangers passing each other every single day, not realizing it. They're actually, I saw, they're just following their energy trails. They're following their energy trails from home to work, from work to the bar or the gym, whichever your thing is, because it's New York, and then to the karaoke, and then back home. And you do it every single day the same. You go to market the same day. It's like that. So there's no intentionality required. Everything is default. You know, at this time you got to reload your MTA card. And of course they got clocks everywhere, and you have a watch on your wrist. So that's what you're paying attention to. There's no need to be intentional as long as you've got clocks. Isn't that silly? Isn't that a silly thing to think? Because you might tell yourself, no, 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 no. You have to be intentional to be on time. No, you don't. Man, I wish that were true, but no, you don't. No, you just have to do something over and over again until it becomes a habit to be on time. That's not intentionality. That can be default. Now, it's true, some of you are like, no, no, you have to intentionally practice the habit. Okay, sure. Sure, 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 sure. But not really. Not these people, not New Yorkers. Not New Yorkers. No, they get up, they get showered, they brush their teeth, they walk down the stairs or they walk up. They walk 2 blocks to the subway station. They go down the stairs into the subway station. They wait on the platform with their earbuds in their ear. They don't make eye contact with anybody on purpose. Aha, there we go. That's the first intentional thing a New Yorker does, is not connect with another human. Look at that. We found the intentionality in the day of a New Yorker. But I don't think it's just New Yorkers. I think that is what humans have become. Because our intentionality was stolen from us and it's so freaking critical to living a real life. It's like humans have become absolutely allergic to connecting with each other. Like if I make eye contact with you, the jig is up. We'll both know that we've sold out. So you don't make eye contact. When I was living in New York, one winter, it was like, when was this? It was like 2013, 2014. Anyway, this is really, really crazy winter. It was like blizzards and lots of snow and all that kind of stuff. It really was one of those winters where you walk, uphill in the snow, all that kind of stuff. That was real. So I think I was working in Manhattan, but I was trying to take a train out to, I don't know if I was trying to get to Long Island or get over to Jersey. I don't know. But because of the blizzard, and it was actually a blizzard, um, the MTA, it was like half the trains were running, okay? And like it, buses were fine for some reason. I guess, oh, because they could ice the roads. Not ice the roads. Oh my gosh, y'all, they could put the snow mixture on the roads. So buses were running fine. I was trying to get to Jersey, that's what it was. Buses were fine, okay? But half the trains couldn't run because of ice on the tracks, okay? Some of y'all listening know. Some of y'all listening, y'all was in New York, you know. So that meant that the trains were extra packed. Okay, so again, you've been to New York, you know what the trains are like, y'all. So imagine a blizzard with half the trains running and people still got to get to work because they don't shut stuff down in New York. They don't do that. They don't do that. So you've got twice as many people on a train. I am telling you, and because everyone still wants to be on time, people are not behaving normally. They're literally squeezing onto trains where there is no room. Do you understand? No room. It's like I was getting on this one train at one point and the door couldn't close because this woman, she was the last person on. She shouldn't have got on, but she got on anyway. She's like, I can do it. I could squeeze in. You could tell she's gonna squeeze in. Well, of course that made everybody who was already in squeezed together more, but her coat kept sticking out past the door, so the door wouldn't close. She eventually had to, you know, really tuck in. But I was on that. I'm on that train, and I remember being squeezed up chest to chest with a man I'd never seen before and I never saw after. I mean, we were squeezed chest to chest. It's winter time, y'all. I got so much Virgo in my chart. I ain't gotta tell you, I was nervous as hell. Y'all know about me and them germs, but anyway. And it was we were literally an inch away from being cheek to cheek, that close. If you know, you know. And I am telling you, not only did we try our best, we succeeded in never making eye contact. I don't know about you. I don't know if you've ever been an inch away from another human's face and not looked at them. I did. Everybody did that day. Everybody did. It's wild. I remember standing there thinking, I am really close to this man. My chest is touching his chest. Our hands are down on our sides. We're not, and we're not looking at each other because we are painfully aware of how intimate this moment is and how wrong it is. I just don't know another word. What made it wrong was to be so close, so realistic, like in real life, intimate with another human being and not look at them. And it was the whole train. And it was like that for 2 or 3 days in the city. I mean, the tracks were iced over. It was a blizzard. It was a blizzard. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So our intentionality was taken from us, and one of the ways that shows up is in our unwillingness to truly, really connect with each other. We're very surface level and shallow with each other. And it's really silly because remember I mentioned that Earth Star chakra, the chakra between your feet that has the etheric cord connecting you to this realm. Well, it's like you guys know, you've seen Avatar. It's like a mycelium network. You like shrooms? Shrooms are awesome. All kinds of mushrooms, shiitake, reishi, psilocybin, they're all great. Okay. I take a mixture of lion's mane, shiitake, chaga, and reishi every day. It's so good for you. Like mushrooms. Because of that etheric cord coming from our earth star chakra down into the earth, we are connected. We are connected. We are. And because we're connected to the earth, we're connected to each other, we're connected to the plants, we're connected to the trees, we're connected to the animals. We just are. That's how you're able to have a really loving relationship with your pets. Are you kidding me? You're not a cat, you're not a dog, but you love your pet and your pet loves you. Wow, how is that possible? There's this connection through the earth that it really binds us together. When someone we love is no longer with us, it actually feels like they're missing. And it's not just your heart is broken, because I really want you to get this. I don't know why we're talking about death so much, but hey, it's judgment season out here. But you actually miss them. I went to my first funeral when I was 5 years old. I've lost a lot of people in my life. I've always chalked it up to the I'm a shaman, it's part of the path, right? So I know what grief is. I know what grief is like. I know the feeling of having a broken heart. I know what it's like to wake up and have it slowly sink in that there's no text, there's no call. That's it. And I've also had the experience beyond that that I miss this person. They're not there. Now, as a medium and a psychic, I connect easily with beings and entities that are not embodied, and I still miss them being embodied because they're not plugged in anymore. Does that make sense? I can't feel them through that network anymore. So I want you to also, play around with that in your mind. So when you think that you're hiding something from someone or someone doesn't know, they do know. I was just telling my kids this the other day. I got two little Scorpios, so we just had a birthday extravaganza around here. And they're very clever kids. And I had to break it down for them. Like, you might think that mommy doesn't know, or I know. You know. And listen, some of us call that intuition. Some of us just call it knowing. I be knowing. You know, she know, we know. We just know. But it's real. It's real. So when somebody says, oh, don't, we would miss you if something happened, that's real. That's real. When you're hurting, you don't want to hear that though. When you're hurting and someone says, oh, we're going to miss you, you're like, good. That's the point. Oh, we'll talk about that another time. But listen, I want you to question your own intentionality. I want you to discover where you are intentional. Is it only in avoiding connecting with other humans? I want you to discover where you're not intentional. And I want you to determine if putting intentionality in would make a difference for you. I want you to question the exaltation of your soul. I want you to question what you worship. I want you to question what worship is. Thanksgiving is traditionally and historically a day to intentionally express gratitude. I want you to question that. Why have a day to intentionally express gratitude? I mean, were we just not going to express gratitude otherwise? Good question, right? The truth is here. The truth has always been here. It's just been sandwiched between lies. Do you understand? And, so on one hand, Spirit says, oh, you're going to talk about something nobody knows anything about, the truth. And I get that. Because again, the truth has always been, will always be. and is, but has been sandwiched, covered, concealed by lies. And then we were trained to intentionally not connect. So it's like we were programmed to not connect with each other lest we discover, right? How did I put it last time? That we've been force fed all these lies, literally choking on lies. Humans are waking up to, what the hell am I choking on? Oh my God, it's a bunch of lies. It's real though. And we are waking up to that. And of course, when you discover that everything you've been told is a lie, you wonder, well, what the hell is real? What is true? Well, I want you to know the truth is here, has always been here, and will always be here. You just won't recognize it at first. The truth isn't going to come from some faraway place. It's always been right here. What did he say? The kingdom of heaven is at hand. It's right here. You just won't recognize it because it's been masked. There's been a mask over it. Okay. So one of the easiest ways to connect with the truth is to take your own mask off. Take your mask off, and then the world around you will begin to unmask itself. Okay. Now you're over 18 listening to this, right? So you already know. Once you see something, you cannot unsee it. So once you see the truth, once you recognize the truth, you'll always be able to find it again. You'll always be able to discern it again, locate it again, pinpoint it again. Okay. But here's a wild ride, Mr. Toad's wild ride. Just because something is true doesn't mean you have to accept it. Lots of things are true, and you just don't accept it. So I think we want to unpack that, right? We're not going to unpack it all right now, but I think you in your personal time, you want to unpack that. People say, I just want the truth, or I'm telling the truth, or this is true, that ain't true, whatever, man. Let me tell you something. The truth takes guts to accept. Because we've been force fed lies for so long, it takes freaking courage to acknowledge the truth, to accept the truth, and to allow the truth to reign supreme in your life. That takes grit. Many people get glimpses of the truth and run away screaming, hell no, I don't want any of that, they say. No, thank you, goodbye. And they mean it. Very Matrix, right? Very, no, I just want a steak. That guy, he said, I know it's not real, but oh my God, I miss steak. Man, I'm telling you, 90, what, 90 or 98, which one? They saying, look, I'm gonna say over 90%. How does that say? Over 90% of humans, they just want the steak. They know it's not real. They just want the steak. This is the crux of this conversation. The truth is here. Now, in this podcast, that's all I'm gonna deal with. That's all I'm gonna deal with is the truth. The rest of it's boring. I really don't want to do anything but traffic in truth. I mean, the illusions are old, they're boring, they're worn out, they're worn thin. We already done it. There's nothing new. There is nothing new in the illusion. They've spun the stories, sang the songs, and told the tales as old as time. What we've not gotten a chance to be with, bask in, bathe in, immerse ourselves in is the truth. Now, for those of you who's raised religious, you got extra work to do. Because your truth, oh baby, not only is it sandwiched between two lies, that sandwich was thrown into a sack of pig dung, and you got to find that pearl at the bottom. Good luck. It's there. But religion lies about what the truth is, and then tells you that the lie is true. Y'all know religion and government one and the same thing, but we're going to keep that for another day. Right now, what I want you to get busy with is intentionally bringing truth into your life. You don't have to. It's so uncomfortable to deal with the truth. At some point, it gets lonely. How's this for being authentic and truthful? At some point, if you traffic in truth and follow the truth and commit to the truth, it's going to be a lonely road. Over 90% of people choose the steak. They choose the matrix. They love it. Being intentional requires you to be aware. Being aware, y'all, y'all, y'all. Being aware requires you to love yourself. You cannot be aware and not love yourself. Let's back into that. The only reason people aren't aware is because they don't love themselves. They loathe their true self. They love the image that they project of themselves. They're hyped up on their mask, but they are ashamed of their truth. So they're not aware. They refuse awareness. They push awareness away. They'd rather stay in the illusion. And when they push awareness away, well, they can't be intentional about anything other than not looking another human being in the eye. Because again, the jig is up. Can't have that. And so now, whether they like it or not, they have become averse vibrationally, frequency averse to truth. So all they're going to attract is illusion, 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 and more illusion. So when I say it takes courage to accept, allow, integrate, and just be in the truth, I mean that. It takes courage to be aware. It takes courage to love yourself. And all of that is required for you to be able to handle the truth. That's why that line is so good. You can't handle the truth. We love that line because we understand it. We all understand there's something in our life that is true that we just can't handle. We know that, whether it's a truth about a loved one who's dealing with substance abuse, whether it's a truth about someone that we love and care for that is unfaithful, whether, there's so many truths that we just won't deal with. And so we think it's easier to numb ourselves out, be ashamed of that intuition that is natural, coming right from the earth up through our earth star chakra into our bodies, letting us know without a doubt, 100%, this is what's going on. We're ashamed. We ignore that. And we go, no, I know it's not real. I just want the steak. So I want to thank the archangels, ascended masters, gods and goddesses, ancestors. Man, I want to thank each and every one of you for going ahead, watching behind, and being right here with us in this conversation. Thank you for loving us enough to help us discover what truth is. Why does it matter? Why does the truth matter? Well, because we're now living in an era or an age of time where all that matters is information. And let me tell you, when you're living in a world or you're in a situation or you're playing a game, if you will, where where whoever has the best intel wins, baby, you want the truth now. You want the truth. You want the truth. See, we were playing a game where it was like, okay, who has the most toys? Who's got the most coins, the most shiny things? Who can stack material wealth? We're not playing that game no more, y'all. We're not playing that game no more. Everybody who's still playing that game is automatically, they're, I hate to say it this way, they're automatically losers. They're losers. They're playing, like trying to play golf with a baseball bat. If so you guys know, for a long time I was a coach, and I used to always tell my clients that it's like you can't play, it's like trying to play golf with a baseball bat. You can't do that. It's like that. If you're out there still focusing on material wealth, you've lost the game. The new game is intel. The new game is, what do you know? What do you know? What do you know? And I promise you, knowing a lie ain't gonna get you far. Nobody wants to trade lies with you. That's silly. People do want the truth though. So, in your life, go find the truth. What is truth? What is it for you? Right? You guys know, I say there's truth with the lowercase t and truth with the capital T. Find out what those are for you. Do not say that there's one truth for everybody. Don't do that. That is lazy thinking. Don't do that. Please know, again, every conversation is meant to trigger you. This is an intentionally triggering conversation. There is no truth that's true for everybody. That's silly. There's your experience, there's your opinion, there's your observation, but those are all subjective. And you cannot place it on someone else and tell them that's their truth too. You can't do that. That doesn't work. People will automatically rebel. How's it? I had a former business partner. I'm not going to say his name, but when I say this quote, if you know him, you'll know, and if you are him, you'll laugh. He used to tell me all the time, a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. I'll say it again, because I used to make him say it to me all the time in all of our meetings together. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. You cannot impose your truth on someone else, and do not let someone else impose their truth on you. Discover your own truth. What is it for you? Your truth. Not your religions, not your cultures, not your ethnicities, not your races, not your families, your truth. Listen, I'm going to stop this right here, but as you know, we're not even at the beginning of the conversation. We're scratching the surface of this conversation, discerning between what's real and what's not. This is the conversation for this age, for this era, for this time. This is the conversation. It's all around you. Everywhere you look, this is what people are now interested in. What's real and what's not. Thank you for joining me. I hope wherever you are, whoever you are, that you find something to be grateful for today. And most importantly, I hope that you're able to express gratitude to yourself for being here for such a time as this.